There we go. Can you hear me now? There we go. Okay. All right. Now I got to change this, though. We should be good now. Can y'all hear me now? God damn it. I'm so happy about this news. They trying to sabotage it. Well. The Chicago Bulls are officially interviewing my favorite candidate for their head coaching position, and they're They're interviewing Chris Quinn for their vacant head coaching position. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, motherfuckers? I'm so happy about this. The Chicago Bulls. Listen, I have been chilling all day long. I don't know why this news got me so happy, but the Chicago Bulls are officially interviewing Chris Quinn for their head coaching role. You got people who've been watching Chicago Bulls Central for the longest know this guy I have been talking about Chris Quinn literally for the last 2 years. Ever since the Bulls started going downhill, and even any kind of conversation popped up about possibly moving on from Billy goddamn Bubblegum Donovan, I've brought up Chris Quinn for years. Chris Quinn is officially getting interviewed for the head coaching position. I love this so much. Now, does that mean they're going to hire him? No, it does not mean that. And I'm going to be clear here. Even though Chris Quinn is my favorite candidate, I understand that Sean Sweeney is a very strong candidate. Dave Bliss is a very strong candidate. In no way am I saying that this should be Chris Quinn or bust or anything like that. I'm not saying that despite my love of Chris Quinn as a candidate, but it is good to know that somebody who is from a culture like the Heat, somebody who has been given so much, credit for developing Bam and Tyler Hero, and that has learned behind it, has worked himself up from being what he went to Notre Dame. His first coaching job was in Northwestern after leaving the NBA, that the Bulls are taking a look at Chris Quinn as the head coach. I am so happy for this because Chris Quinn not only has ties to the city, and you know what? I won't even get to that part of it because that part really does not matter. Ties to the city don't really matter in getting the best guy. And I want to be clear on that. I don't want to be somebody that's such a homer about my city that it's like, oh my God, Chicago ties, let's get him. But it's just the simple fact that Chris Quinn is somebody who is legitimately qualified for this job. And so I love when it comes down to it. If the Bulls can get Chris Quinn in here, it's just the interview process. We don't know exactly what's going to happen yet, so I don't want to sell it as they're going to hire him or anything like that. We're still going to see what's going to happen in the long run for this. But Chris Quinn is such a good candidate for a head coaching job. He's an offensive and defensive mind. He's a guy that commands the locker room. He's a guy that's a leader. A former point guard. We were asked before how point guards sometimes make the best coaches. He was a former point guard. When he was playing in college, he was a really smart point guard. People understood that about him. I love the concept of Chris Quinn being the head coach here for the Chicago Bulls. So when you look at it, let's talk about, outside of my excitement for it, let's talk about it, right? Chris Quinn, who has been working with Erik Spoelstra with his staff since 2014. This guy brings a long-term experience inside one of the most stable organizations in basketball, which is a really good thing. I know that this season was not a great season for the Miami Heat. They had some weird offensive things. They were trying to figure out an offensive system. So I understand there are going to be some questions from some fans on, is Chris Quinn the right guy? And that's fine. It's one of my favorite guys because of my own research. I'm not going to say he should be one of your favorite guys just because he's one of my favorite guys. I would just say this. Go with the open mind. Look at Chris Quinn. Look at the things that he's done. Go and research some of the things that even Erik Spoelstra has given him credit for. I think most people will agree Erik Spoelstra is one of the best coaches in the game of basketball. This is a guy that's worked hand in hand with Erik Spoelstra in that time. Now, that doesn't always mean somebody's going to be a great coach, right? Luke Walton was one of Steve Kerr's lead assistants, and he didn't turn into shit as a head coach, right? So I'm not saying that. I trust Bryson Graham to walk away with this one and make the right decision. I trust Bryson Graham to do that. So if he decides that Chris Quinn is the guy, great. I'm all for it. I love it. It is what it is. This isn't about name recognition. It has to be about fit. It has to be about aligning with what Bryson Graham wants here. And so I'm not going to push my own thought processes on Bryson Graham. I'm going to trust Bryson Graham to get it done. But when you look at some of the stuff that Miami Heat has done, that Chris Quinn has had a hand in, consistently developing players, undrafted players, and overlooked players. They made it to an NBA Finals, and they had more undrafted players on that team than ever with an NBA Finals team. And that's not by happenstance. That means you had smart drafting, or not drafting because they were undrafted, but you had smart recruitment, talent evaluation, and smart development, right? This is a guy that has been around coaching staffs, and he understands the importance of preparation, right? He's understand of the importance of that. I think you have to have a coach as well who can define roles and build habits. Chris Quinn has seen that. His player development background matters. When you look at a team with Modest Buzelis, Noah Essengay, the number 4 pick this year, the number 15 pick this year, the number 38 pick this year, having somebody that can develop that. When you talk about Heat culture, you don't just think toughness. You think player development, you think standards, and you think getting more out of players than what people typically expect. And then you got to look at the culture building part of it, right? Heat culture is a real thing. Jaime Jaquez, as a rookie, said, I had to learn how to be a Miami Heat player first and an NBA player second. We've never had a culture like that here in Chicago. Right now, it doesn't always mean that culture is going to necessarily carry over, but you hope that it is. When you pair that along with what the culture that Bryson Graham has said that he wants to build, how he wants this organization to run under him, you bring some of that, right? You don't need fake Heat culture. You need Bulls culture. You need to build a Bulls culture. The closest thing that we've had to a culture in the last 20 years was Tom Thibodeau era with the Chicago Bulls. You want somebody who's going to bring that, right? And so I think that bringing in and hiring somebody who's lived inside of Miami's system, inside of that franchise, inside of that culture, has helped develop that some. That's what you wanted. But I think also what this points towards is why player development is going to be a priority for this team. The Bulls are rebuilding. They're young. The coach has to turn upside into actual production. Chris Quinn has helped do that. I won't say that he's done that by himself because he hasn't been the head guy, but he has helped establish a culture in a franchise where you turn the upside into actual production. Now, that doesn't mean that all the potential is always hit, but it does mean you realize a lot of that, right? Bulls need to improve their defensive discipline. Chris Quinn brings a lot of that as well, and you need somebody who's not going to bury players on the end of the bench. He's going to actually develop those players and hold those young players accountable. Chris Quinn, his experience with player development, it makes him a logical candidate for those things, right? If the Bulls get this hire wrong, it doesn't just hurt the season. It hurts the development timeline of the Chicago Bulls. It hurts the start of this rebuild, right? So when you look at what Chris Quinn and how he compares to some of the other candidates, long-term assistant experience, which a lot of the guys have, right? That's not exclusive to him. Worked under one of the best coaches in the NBA. You could say the same thing about Sean Sweeney and David Bliss. He's been part of a winning infrastructure. You could say the same thing about Sean Sweeney and David Bliss as well. And he may not have head coaching position in the NBA, but I don't think that's a huge concern because a lot of these guys don't have that, right? When you compare this to some of the safer candidates for the Bulls, especially when you look at guys like James Borrego or Wes Unseld Jr., this is a guy that's kind of younger than some of those guys, and he has more long-term NBA coaching experience. Chris Quinn may not be the flashiest name, and that's fine, right? This hire should not be about flash. It should be about finding the right person to get in the job and to hire this. Now, hiring Chris Quinn does not guarantee anything, and I want to be clear there. This interview doesn't guarantee that he's going to be hired. But I do think that it is something that could definitely help in regards to this one, and we'll see. We'll see, right? So we'll see what's going to happen with that. But overall facts, closest thing to a culture initiator was Tom Thibodeau. Exactly. I think that. Who broke this news initially? So there was a smaller account. I can get it for you. Give me 1 second. There was a smaller account that posted this hours ago, but I didn't run with it until – so one thing that you guys will find out about Chicago Bulls Central – is that for those that are new, because we got a lot of new guys that have come over here recently, is that it's not about, for me, just getting the quickest news out. I need to have a source that actually, that's verifiable, right? But I will give credit, because if nobody else is giving the credit, I want to give credit to this initial page that posted this. It was Rob Murrows is the page. He does work for an outlet, but I never heard of him before. He's an NBA reporter for Shot Coverage. So he reported this 4 hours ago, And I saw it then. I even reposted and said, hey, has anybody heard this from anywhere else? I got no responses. Then about 30, 40 minutes ago, Mike Scotto posted it. So then I felt comfortable running with it. So, shout out. If nobody else is giving it, it's not Mike Scotto who broke the news. Rob Murrows with Shock Coverage actually broke this news 4 hours ago. But people didn't believe it because they didn't know him. Matter of fact, he broke this at 9:40 a.m., 8:40 a.m. Chicago time. So shout out to Rob Murrows, who's break. Let me go ahead and follow this brother. He's earned a follow for me. So there you go on that one. Not to say that means anything, but he's earned a follow for me. Bulls have to capitalize on this offseason because it'll be another 4 to 5 years before they get another chance to get it right. I won't say that. You don't have to. Nothing's going to all come together in one offseason, right? So that's not going to happen anyway. But I will say this. If you miss on the number 4 overall pick, as we've seen with P. Will, that sets you back quite a bit, right? So you have to start making the right decisions here. And then also, because we are going to have so many young players, when you look at this Bulls team, they're going to probably, if they take both the 38th and the 56th pick, you're probably going to have on this team 5 players that are under 24, right? Under 22. So you got to get it right. You got to get it right. Happy Friday, Haize. Can you explain why Rondo shouldn't be taken more seriously as a head coaching candidate? Yours truly, Mr. Rogaine, the ball-headed hoe. First of all, that is crazy. Secondly, no, I mean, listen, Rajon Rondo should be taken seriously as it. Now, he's never had, I don't think he's even been an assistant on the NBA bench, right? So if you're talking about any reason why not, maybe it's just the lack of experience when you have guys like Sean Sweeney, David Bliss, Mike Nori, guys that have been on NBA benches for a long time, Chris Quinn, Sam Cassell, right? So it's not that Rajon Rondo shouldn't necessarily be taken seriously. It's just that there are so many other people that have done this job longer that probably you feel a little bit more safer at hiring, right? And that's really what I think it comes down to. Now, if Rajon Rondo wants to get into coaching, he may have to take an assistant job first. Could that be here in Chicago? But he probably will have to take an assistant job first. But I'm not going to say that he isn't qualified. It's just sometimes the politics of the NBA play a part into somebody not getting that. Man, this show takes me away from the craziness of the world. Real talk. I appreciate that, bro. Bro, where were you able to get the Bull shirt and the hat with the baby blue? That's raw. So it looks, it's actually more turquoise than baby blue. So this shirt came from Fanatics. I bought this shirt probably a year before I saw the hat. So I bought this shirt from Fanatics, and then this hat popped up on Culture Kings probably about 2 years ago. So I had the shirt about a year before I had the hat. But yeah, there's so much, and I don't even say this to brag. There's so much Bulls merch that I have that I don't wear because I either don't have shoes or a hat to match the shirt. Or I have the hat, I don't have a shirt that matches the hat. Like, there's probably about 20 hats over here I've never even touched yet because I don't have a shirt to match the hat. Like, weird colorways on stuff that I have that I just don't have anything to match the hat on yet. I mean, yeah, I don't have anything to match the hat on, so I don't wear it yet. I got this black and what color is that? It's like a purplish hat, but I got nothing to wear it with. I have nothing to wear it with. So it's gonna be sitting there until I get something to wear it with. Knew he was slated to get an opportunity for the JC job even after the initial came out, where he wasn't a part of. You can't say that you knew that. You probably thought that, right? I thought that he would too, but nobody had a way of knowing that. Facts are cap, Haize. The new front office and the new coaching staff can get P. Will to a solid rotational piece that'd be pivotal piece in the future. No, because he's just not that good. Like, it's like we got to stop thinking that it's on every coach to develop a turd into even a rock. Like, it's not going to happen. Like, of course, turds will calcify and turn to a rock at that point, but they're dead at that point in time. AK just got the pick wrong. I don't think there's any coach out here that can get, because with P. Will, it's not about the skill level. I still believe that. It's more about what's in between his ears. If he don't care about basketball yet, he's never going to care about basketball. That's just my personal opinion on it. If he doesn't care enough yet to take this more seriously, he's never going to care. He's never going to care. So that's my stance on it. I'm over the fact of trying to develop P. Will. Like, now if they can, great. If somebody can come in here and they can develop P. Will to be at the bare minimum, a consistent rotational player, shout out to you. But we'll see. We'll see. Bulls, Diner, Given in rebuild, SA wants to win now. Maybe pick 15 for a young guard. What? Nigga, what the fuck does that have to do with anything? What the hell? All right. What do you think about trying out Noah at the 5? Might work. I mean, he's too slight of frame right now to play the 5. I would think right now. Maybe he's put on more weight than I know. I don't know. I'm not in that building weighing motherfuckers. But you know, the fact that he grew to 7 feet is great. He already had an over 7 foot wingspan. So if that's all legitimate, like he could eventually be a long-term center. But I just don't know if he has the weight to play center now. Like, who's the lightest center in the league? Is Chet Holmgren the lightest center in the league? The lightest starting center in the league? How much does Chet weigh? Let me just, I just want to see, right? Give me a second. Now my internet wants to move low. So Chet Holmgren is 208 pounds. But even Isaiah Hartenstein is technically their starting. So now Chet does play center. So, I mean, yeah, you could probably get away with playing Noah Essengay at center some. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. Bro, we got to beat the Heat. I hate them, bro. I think they got our number. Listen, we got to be a good team before we worry about beating specific teams. We got to become a good team first. Then we can worry about beating specific teams. That's what we can do. Whether we get Boozer or Wilson or maybe even Patterson, I'm excited for the future of this team. I mean, this is a good place to be excited about this team. So, you know, we'll see what's going to happen in regards to that. It's a good time to be excited about being a Bulls fan. What's up, Haize? You said you want BG to stick to his word and not rush the process, but you have to speed it up again in a sense with stricter tanking and lotto rules going into effect this summer. Listen, I'll say this. I don't think that you have to. That's not technically speed. If anything, it means that it actually benefits. Like, keep in mind, the only thing that the new tanking rules do is that it makes it you don't have the best odds if you have the worst record. The Bulls have never had the worst record in the NBA. So if anything, staying in the middle of the pack now actually is more beneficial. Think about it this way. Like, the playing teams that don't make it into the playoffs out of the play-in tournament are going to have a better chance at a top 4 seed than the bottom 3 teams in the league. So, you know, I think you just got to let it go the way it's going to go. The Bulls are never going to be a bottom team in this league, at least in my opinion. Who would you choose to be Quinn's lead assistant? Listen, don't ask me about lead assistants yet. I'm not worried about lead assistants yet. Let's get this coaching hire first, and then we can worry about the lead assistants. We can do that then. I will say this, just off the top of my head, like, I wouldn't mind Dan Craig and Wes Unseld staying on. Those are 2 veteran coaches that have worked under great coaches. Like Billy Donovan, they have success there, but I wouldn't be mad at them keeping on Wes Unseld Jr., in my opinion. I wouldn't be mad about that. So we'll see. We'll see. But all right, y'all, I just wanted to bring this update, man. I appreciate you guys so much, man. You guys are amazing. You guys know I was super excited about this. I know anybody who probably watches Chicago Bulls Central consistently knew for a fact once this news dropped, I was going to be live and be live very quickly after that. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. We have a goal of getting to 50,000 subscribers. Try to do that by the start of the season. We just passed 30,000. We're already at 30,800. So we gained over 800 subs in the last week. So thank you guys for that. Keep hitting that subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. You can follow us at Bulls Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See you right if you can, y'all. Peace!
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.